You're highly welcome, my dear brothers and sisters out there. I'm glad that you just clicked to watch this message. Today, I'm going to be talking about the activities of what is going on in the west coast of Africa, in regards to also what happened in the land which is known today as the land of Israel, which is located in the Middle East. There are so many things that you need to be able to understand, my dear brothers and sisters, in regards to the truth of the matter and the real things which is really going on, for you to be able to be well rooted in the knowledge of reality of what is taking place. For some time now, I've been talking about things that has to do with Jacob and Israel, and today I want to be able to use this time to be able to show you, according to the scripture, the reason why you need to be able to really see the mystery of what is really going on in the west coast of Africa. Because like I said, what is going on in the Middle East is a child's play to compare to what is going on in the west coast of Africa. And I'm going to be showing you a lot of these things and much more in regards to what the Bible has already, what is already contained in the scripture. A lot of people believe on Israel, which is located in the Middle East, but the real true history behind Israel, or the real true reasons why these people are in that particular place, the people who are called the Israelis, is now being told to a lot of people. And the things which they are doing there, even they themselves do not really know the magnitude of what is going on as a result of them being in that particular land. Now take this for example. Now you went into a land and people were in that land before you came in there, and the people who are in that land before you came in there knew that you were a stranger in that land, and you came in there occupying a certain area. So the people who were there before you came in, they knew that you were a stranger, so they are fighting you, who is a stranger in that particular place. Now the next question that you need to be able to ask yourself is, how then did these people occupy a land that does not belong to them? Because the reasons why you see that there is war between Palestinians and Israelis is because the Palestinians knows that the Israelis, the land that they are occupying, does not belong to them. And likewise, the Israelis knows that the land that the Palestinians are occupying does not belong to them. Now you see people fighting over something that both of them do not really understand the magnitude of what they are really dealing with in that place which is known as Middle East. So you see, warfare has been going on over a piece of land. But there is something more deeper which you need to be able to understand, because if you read and understand the thing that the former president of Egypt said, the president of Egypt said something in regards to people who were, how can a people live, who left the land of Israel being black, and while coming back, they came out as white people. So, how did this happen, this sudden change? How did it happen? Have you ever sat down before and you asked yourself a question in regards to this? Because if you don't understand the game which is being played in the Middle East, my dear, you have not started. Then that means you have not really understood the things which is being done in this particular third dimensional plane. So you have to go to the basic, you have to go to the root, the truth of the matter, why these things that are happening in the place which is called the Middle East. Why are they happening? Why are the Palestinians fighting over the Israelis? Like I said, the Palestinians know that the Israelis are strangers into the land where they came from, where they are in, where they are inhabiting, where they are occupying. And like I said, also the Israelis knows that the Palestinians themselves are strangers in the place where they found themselves. So neither the Israeli nor the Palestinians are going to agree to leave that land for one another. Now, because there is something that is more deeper into the truth of the matter. Now, according to the history of what you need to be able to understand in the scripture, we saw something that happened during the time when the children of Israel were being taken, the northern kingdom were being taken into what? Into captivity. And as a result, the king of Assyria brought people from Havilah, from Katvim, from Hafavim, and different places to be able to occupy the northern area, which is today, which is an area which a lot of people called Palestinian. So, but before the people occupy, before these people who are called the Palestinians occupy that particular area, some people were also occupying that areas before these people who are called the Palestinians today occupy that particular place. These things are recorded in the scripture. These were the northern kingdom. These were the northern kingdom where King of Assyria took people into what? Into captive. And he placed those people that he took into the land that was in the land of Elam. And after that, what he did was to be able to bring people from his own domain, that is to say from Babylon area vicinity, in order to do what? To plant them in the place which is known today as what? As Palestinians. Or in that area which is geographically located, talking about what? That area which is Palestine. So the Israelis knows about this thing that the king of Assyria did. That these people who are there are not actually the real people who are supposed to be there. There were people who were there before the Palestinians has to be able to do what? To occupy that land. So the Palestinians were occupying that particular land since that time that the king of Assyria brought them and put them in the northern side. And now, after so many years, they now start claiming that land. But the Israelis have still the knowledge that what? That you people are strangers. Just the same way that you people are trying to push the Israelis, because the Israelis, somebody brought the Israelis the same way that the king of Assyria brought these people in what? In the northern side. That is also the same way that the Israelis were being brought by some other mightier one to be able for them to be able to do, for the Israelis to be able to do what? To occupy that southern kingdom, or talk about the place which is called Israel today, or Jerusalem. Now these are the things which is on its own prophecies being fulfilled, which a lot of people are not really understanding the mystery of what is really going on. So when you talk about the people who are the Palestinians, or you talk about the Israelis, these two people, they have a knowledge of how this person came here, and the other one have the knowledge of how this person came here. So, but they cannot reveal this secret, because that is exposing themselves on how these things played out. But today, I'm going to be giving you some mystery in regards to how, like I said, the people who the king of Assyria brought in, that you can be able to see in the scripture how those things played out one after another, and they were all being planted in that particular place. And today I'm going to be showing you, according to the scripture, how Jacob actually is using the people who are called the Israelis today, because they were the ones that really brought the people who are called the Ashkenazim to be able to plant them in that place which is known as Jerusalem today, because these things are prophecies which has already, which the Most High has already, that is to say, put in place for the generation to come. And what you are actually seeing is a fulfillment of prophecy. Now, if you're with me, my dear brothers and sisters, I would like us to go straight forward into the book of Genesis chapter number 10. I want to show you something very, very important there. Like I said, Two people are fighting over a piece of land which neither of them owns. You see, neither of them owns. They don't know the magnitude of what is really taking place there. You see, some of them people who are from the land of the Palestinians might be shouting, oh, they've been in that land, maybe for whatsoever years, blah, 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 blah. But that land, before you came there, somebody was there before the king of Assyria took those people and removed them from that particular place and placed them in the land of Elam. And when those people went into the land of Elam, what happened is that they said no way that they can be in among those people who are idol worshippers. So they decided to take a journey to be able to go into a land where no man dwells. So they left those particular areas to find a new world. But when these people were being taken out from the land where they used to be, talking about the northern kingdom now, that was when king of Assyria brought you people, the Palestinians. That was when you people came over there. That was when you people came over there. I'm talking about things which is going on in the land of the Phoenician land of the Canaanite now. So that was when the king of Assyria brought the people who are known today as the Palestinians, and they were occupying the northern territory, that is to say, the northern area. But the southern area now, you need to be able to understand how these things played out. This is what I want you to be able to let you understand. How even the Israelis were being planted by the people you see in west coast of Africa. You see people carrying the Star of David, this six-pointed star in West Africa. What is that star doing in West Africa? These are the people that planted the Israelis in Middle East. Some of you don't understand what I'm saying, right? Let's go into the scripture. I want to show you something there in the book of Genesis chapter number 9. Chapter number 9. The book of Genesis chapter number 9 from verse number 25. The Bible says, and he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. So Canaan is going to be a servant of servants. So he's going to be a servant under somebody who is a servant. Shall Canaan be. Now listen to what the Bible says. And he said, blessed be Yahuwah, Elohim of Shem. So here, Noah is the one that is saying, blessed be Yahuwah Elohim of Shem. Remember that Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And here, Noah himself is saying, blessed be the Elohim of Shem. So, which means he's now elevating Shem above the other 2 brethren, which is talk about Japheth and Ham. So when Noah said, blessed be Elohim of Japheth, of Shem, what is, just listen to what is going to, what he said next. When after he said that, he said, and Canaan shall be his servant. Canaan is going to serve Shem. That is, Canaan is going to serve Shem. And how is Canaan going to serve Shem? Listen to what the Bible says in verse number 27. Elohim shall enlarge Japheth. Understand it. So through the enlarging of Japheth, I'm going to show you who the children of Japheth are. Through the enlarging of Japheth, Canaan is going to be a servant under this particular Japheth. And Japheth is going to be somebody who is a servant under somebody who is a servant, and that individual who is a servant is Jacob, is a servant in the hand of Jeshurun. Now I'm going to be explaining these things to you, real talk, so that you'll be able to really understand what is really going on. So there, the Bible said that what? Elohim shall enlarge Japheth. Is going to do what? Enlarge Japheth. Now remember, Noah said, blessed be the Elohim of Shem. For Canaan is going to be his servant. And what is going to happen? That Elohim is going to enlarge Japheth, and Canaan is going to, that is to say, and he shall, now, Elohim shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tent of Shem. Understand it. This is very, very key and very important to understand. So, Japheth is going to dwell in the tent of Shem. So, which means a place where Shem builded is where Japheth is going to be dwelling, which means Japheth is going to leave his own place and be brought
into the place which was being given to Shem, where Shem builded up his own temple. So, and as a result of that, because this thing has to be able to play out. So Japheth, as he is going to be in his own domain, somebody from the generation of Shem is going to go and do what? And bring Japheth, so that Japheth is going to dwell in the tent of Shem in order to do what? To fulfill the prophecy which is already been written, that what? That Elohim shall enlarge. So the enlarging of Japheth is to be able to extend his tentacles all the way from where he used to be into a place where he did not know nothing about. So when Elohim, or when Yahuwah Elohim of, blessed be Yahuwah Elohim of Shem, so because this enlargement of Japheth now is going to be extended and is going to be brought and be put in the tent of Shem. Now remember, like I said to you, there are three brothers which you all know when we talk about Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So, but the blessing went to Shem, and the reason is that what the Bible already made us to understand, that what that Shem is going to have his own tent. But what happened is that Japheth is going to be dwelling in the tent of Shem. You need to be able to understand it. So, and because this is already a prophecy which has been made, and this prophecy has to be fulfilled. Listen to what the Bible says again. It says, Elohim shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tent of Shem. So, talking about Japheth dwelling in the tent of his brother. And when Japheth dwelt in the tent of his brother, Canaan, which is one of the sons of Ham, is going to be a servant to Japheth, because Japheth himself is going to be controlled, is going to be ruled by his own brother, which is coming from the seed line of Shem. Remember that Japheth is in the tent of Shem, and that tent of Shem, he was being put there because his own he has been enlarged. You know, that is why he had the opportunity to be able to be there, which is a place which is known as Middle East. So somebody brought in Japheth. Somebody brought in the children of Japheth into the place, into the tent of Shem. Now let's go chapter number 10 to see who are the children of Japheth, and to see what happened, because remember, the Bible talked about Canaan being the servant of what? Of these particular people who are going to be ruling in what? In that particular land of what? In that particular tent of Shem. Now listen to what the Bible says in chapter number 10 of the book of Genesis. It says, now these are the generation of the sons of Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And Japheth, and unto Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. Unto Ham, sons were being born. Talk about, you know, Canaan was one of the son of Ham. Ethiopia was one of the son of Ham. Cush, Mitzrayim were all one, you know, because Ham had 4 sons. So now when you go into Shem, Shem have his own children also. You go to Japheth have his own children. So the Bible says, unto these 3, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, were sons born. You see, so the Bible is now saying in verse number 2, the sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. In verse number 3, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz. Did this sound anything to your ear when you heard about the Ashkenazim? The Ashkenaz. These are the sons of Japheth. So somebody needs to go and do what? And fulfill this prophecy that has already been written for what? For these people, because the Bible said that what? That Japheth is going to dwell in the tent of Shem. The tent that Shem builded, he's going to, that is the enlarging of Japheth, is that he's going to come and dwell in what? In the tent of Shem. So a descendant from Shem needed to go to the domain, or needed to go to the place of the Japhetic people to be able to really indoctrinate them, or be able to give them a certain knowledge which they are going to which is going to open up their eye so that they are going to come into a place which actually is the tent of Shem, and they are going to come there and do what? And occupy that particular place. And who did this? Jacob was the one that did this. Jacob was the one that went into what? Into the Caspian Sea area and met the Ashkenazi and met these particular people in that particular area, just the same way that Jacob taught the Grecians. The same way that they were being taught is the same way that these particular people who are from the Japhetic bloodline, these were the latest version of so-called humans that came on planet Earth at the time. So it is very, very necessary for the children of Jacob, who are the ancient ones, to be able to go into that particular area, because the moment that these beings came, the latest version of, what we call humans, came on planet Earth, somebody needed to do what? To bring these people or indoctrinate these people for their own purpose in a literal sense, so that they can be able to do what? To do a work for them in the tent which they are about to do what? Which they have left. So the people that fled out as a result of what was going on in the northern kingdom. So what happened is that the Romans came in order to invade those people. So those people ran away into what? Into the inner part of the Hamitic land. So when they ran into the inner part of the Hamitic land, so they still have to be able to do what? To protect the tent of their ancestors, which is what the tent which was being built, the tent of their ancestors. This is why a lot of people hear about the tent of, Solomon temple or whatsoever, talking about the tent of Shem. So those children that are from the bloodline of Shem had to flee as a result of the invasion of the people who are called the Romans. But when they fled out, their eye were still on the tent. Their eye still is what? In where their tent is. So, but then they needed to protect that particular place where they were. Understand it? They needed to protect that particular place. Remember, they had a border with the northern kingdom. Now, the northern kingdom was a place where the king of Assyria had already brought people from what? From Havilah, from Katvim, from Hamath, and other areas to be able to occupy that particular place. So the southern kingdom is where these children of Shem has been living. Talk about now Jacob. So these children of Shem have been living there. So now that the Romans came, now that the Romans are coming, before the coming of the Romans, these people were being warned that when you see Jerusalem being encompassed by army, when you see that particular areas being encompassed by army, those people who are in that area, they should flee. Those people who are in the southern kingdom, they should flee. So what happened is that they fled. The moment that they fled, their eyes were still on that particular temple. So they needed somebody to be able to come and walk for them in order to protect that particular land. So how are they going to do it? Rather than telling these people on exposing what really took place even before the northern kingdom took the particular position or took the land which they all are occupying. So the people who are the children of Jacob had to be able to give the sons, the sons of Japheth, the secret of what happened in the northern kingdom, and show them how the so-called northern kingdom took the land which they took. So in order to do that, that is just like opening up the eye of the people, because they are all about the business. Now it is all about bringing something to them to be able to open up their eyes so that they can be able to do what? To use them to establish that state or that particular place so that they can occupy it for them while they are on exile. So while the children who are in the southern kingdom are on exile, they have somebody else working for them, occupying that tent of Shem. You understand what is really going on here now? So while these children are on exile, somebody is working on their behalf in that particular place where they used to be before the Romans invaded. So those people now, when they fled off, remember their fleeing is to be able to go into another location. So they fled in order to establish themselves in another location, to continue what they were doing in the southern kingdom. So that was the reason why when they fled into the continent, into the Hamitic land, inside of the Hamitic land, they went there having the same religion which they used to know. They had the same religion which they used to practice. The same religion which they used to practice, they took it and they ran into the continent of Africa. So when they went into the inner part of the continent of Africa, which is the same land of Ham, they went there and they met other people who are there who do not have that religion of what people call today Judaism. So those people that fled from the Roman persecution, who went into the west coast of Africa, those people now, when they went there, they saw people who were in their own ways. And what happened? They now introduced this religion which they used to practice in the Middle East. Talk about the Middle East now, which is another land of Ham, because all is the same continent of Africa. The land of Canaan here and the land of Canaan is the same. So when they went into this side of the Canaan, which is in the west coast of Africa, they now saw the people who were there, who were in their tradition. So those people have not also been indoctrinated. So what these people did was to be able to do what? To actually introduce this religion, which is what a lot of people know as religion of Judaism. So they had to introduce it into a place which is known today as what? As West Africa. And by introducing it, some people, a lot of people who were in those areas, who were indigenous to that particular area, they bought to the idea of that religion. And those people who bought the idea of this religion, which these people brought as they are fleeing from the Roman persecution, the people that bought the idea, or the people that bought this ideology of religion that these people brought, those people are the people you hear, they call them today the Bantus. So the Bantus were the first set of people like which the Igbos actually used to, that is, they indoctrinated them using a religion as a means of an instrument. It is not something that they forced on them, but rather they introduced it to them, and they did what? They accepted it with their own self to be able to do what? To practice the same thing that was being done in that place where the Igbos used to be. This is the reason why you see today, when you go into what is going on in the west coast of Africa, you see that the Igbos, some set of Igbos, are practicing what you know today as what? As Judaism. This is why you see them with the Star of David. That is that six-pointed star, the same star that is in the flag of Israel, is being found in the west coast of Africa. What is it doing there? That is to show you that these same people were the people that did what? That brought the Ashkenazims. So because you hear, if you don't understand, some people, you might be thinking, so many people, who they might be thinking, what has Igbo got to do with what? With Jewish? They are actually the people that actually started the Jewish everything. They are the ones that actually brought the Ashkenazim to be playing a role for them in that particular place, which you know today as what? As Middle East. So they are showing you already what is going on in the West. Now I'm talking, like I said, I'm telling you about a certain sect of what? Of an Igbo is an Asian people. But now, the people who are under that religion, they used to practice this same religion, not just now, but something that they have been practicing even long time before the Romans invaded these people. So they brought that same religion. They took that same religion as they were fleeing into the west coast of Africa. And now some of their own still went back. Why they fled, went back in order to do it, because their eyes were still in the place which is known to, which is known as Middle East, which were the place where they used to be. So they needed somebody So they needed to indoctrinate somebody. So this is the reason why they had to be able to indoctrinate these people using what today a lot of people call the Talmud, to be able to use it and brainwash, literally giving these people a higher revelation or higher knowledge about what they need to do in order to take that particular southern kingdom where the Igbos, or where they used to be, in order for them to do what? To be occupying that place for them until the rise of the people who went into the west coast of Africa. So they are now playing two things now. So these people are playing role for them. This is why a lot of people do not understand how their tax-paying money is being spent. You have to pay the Israelis because, number one, they are in the tent of Shem doing work for somebody who is more sophisticated, who is more superior than he is. So Israel, this is why when you go into the book of Revelation, what does the Bible say? I know thy works and tribulation, and I know the blasphemy. I know thy works and tribulation. Thou art rich, thou art poor, but art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say that they are Jews and are not, but they are the synagogue of Satan. So there are people who are claiming to be Jews, but these people are not Jews. So the real Jews, the real people who were called the Jews, are actually the people who are using these people who call themselves, Jews. Are you getting what is really going on now? So the moment that these people now were being indoctrinated, they now use something. So World War II has to be instituted or whatsoever, long time even before this time, to be able to now use it as something, a pretext which is going to cause and usher in something, usher in these people who were being indoctrinated for the longest, so that they can be able to come into that particular land and be able to do what? To start their own work. So all your tax-paying money has to be able to go indirectly for the sponsoring of these people, because they are also working on behalf of some people who used to be there, but now they have changed the location. So this is the reason why even the president of Egypt saw that the people who left this particular place left there black, but how come they came back white? Because these are the Japhetic children. These are the sons of Japhet in the tent of Shem. So this is why you hear they call them the Ashkenazim Jews. Some of you don't understand what I'm saying, right? But I give you mysteries in the name of Yahushua. So this is why they are all there doing a work on behalf of the people who indoctrinated them, or who taught them the secrets on how even the Palestinians took over that northern kingdom. Because remember, the people who used to be in the northern kingdom stayed there for a long period of time before the Romans now invaded the southern kingdom, because the king of Assyria had already brought people from, like I say, from Katvim, from Havilah, from different places, in order for them to occupy that particular northern kingdom. So the people who used to be in the southern kingdom knew all these things when those things took place. That these people now who are there claiming to be that place, these people, this is not their land. So, and they had to tell it to what? To the Ashkenazim, how these things happen. So the Ashkenazim's eyes are like, what? So these people who are claiming that that this place is their own, is not even their own. So which means, since the Israelis are there now, or the people who are called the Israelis, or who are called them Jews, but they are not Jews, that are there, since they are there now, knowing that the Palestinians, the land which they are occupying, does not belong to them, so what right do the Palestinians have to chase the Israelis out there, when the Israelis also knows that that particular land does not belong to the Palestinians? So the Palestinians will be fighting against Israeli, telling them that you people are infidels in a land that does not belong to you people, and the Israelis will be firing them back, telling them that you people are in a land that does not. Do you see how the whole thing plays out now? Do you see what is really going on in the Middle East? And do you see the role that West Africa had to play? And do you see the reason why you are seeing the Star of David, you know, everywhere? Or you seeing the connection of Star of David in the West Africa by some people who are raising that particular. Like I said to you all, my dear brothers and sisters, you need to be able to understand even the origin of the Bantus is as a result of these things which I just told you. Because when these people fled, they had to go into the continent, inner part of the continent of Africa, in order to, this is the reason why they established themselves, and they call that area the kingdom of Waida, the kingdom of Judah, the kingdom of, that is what, the Negro area, that is the kingdom of Waida, the ancient ones. So this is why they went there and they established themselves over there. But before establishing themselves over there, the people that they met over there when they fled off, they indoctrinated those people, convinced them, and be able to do what? And be able to, you know, win them from their tradition into this their own culture. Are you getting what is really going on? So those first set of people that these people were able to convert into their own way of religion, or which is called Judaism, those first set of people, these are the people you hear about, the Bantus. The Bantus originated from what? From the place which is called the Kingdom of Waida in west coast of Africa. And the people that brought the religion of Judaism in the west coast of Africa are the Igbos. So the Igbos are the progenitors of what? When you talk about the going back of all this that has to do with what? With the religion of Judaism in the west coast of Africa, because they used it as what? As a religious instrument. So people who accepted now were called. So this is why you now see that every Bantu, the real Bantus now had to be able to do what? The wave of the Bantus started from the place which is known between the border between what? Between Nigeria, the modern day Nigeria and Cameroon. So they now have to spread from that particular place all through to what? To Congo, Tanzania, Kenya, talk about South Africa, and so on and so forth. So these are the people who accepted the kind of the religion that these people brought when they left, when they fled from that particular chase that the Romans were after them, and that was why they had to flee into the west coast of Africa. Now from the west coast of Africa, Middle East is being removed. Did you really understand what I just said to you? Because the people who are there are working for what? For the people who brought them in there, you know, to protect something that those people who are there do not know the magnitude of what they are protecting on behalf. So that is the reason why you see the negative, and you know, left and right, this person is fighting against this person, not knowing, you know, talk about the Palestinians and the Israelis. They are trying to do what? To fight something that which they themselves, or be able to occupy a place which they are fighting over a piece of land, trying to do what? Trying to, you know, do all kind of things, when both of them, and none of them who own that particular place, was being promised to. So this is why the Bible talked about what? I know that works and tribulation, and I know the blasphemy of the people who say that they are Jews. These are the people who the Bible talk about, the Ashkenazim, Jews who are trying to say that they are Jews. These are the sons of Japheth, but you need to be able to understand. They are fulfilling a prophecy which I already showed you in the book of, where? Genesis chapter number 9. That they are going to dwell in the tent of who? Of Shem, which is what they are fulfilling. Which is what they are fulfilling. And as a result, they cannot leave their own land and be occupying a land which is meant for somebody, which was being promised to somebody else, and you are not going to pay him. So you have to pay him. So they are acting something, and in return, you need to be able to do, your tax paying money had to go to these people. So you are paying the government of different world organizations have to be able to do what? To pay these people, because they receive insults, they receive bamboozle, they receive missiles, they receive hatred, they receive all kind of things from what? From people who do not really understand the reasons why these people have to be able to do what? To play this role. You see, so this is the reason why a lot of people do not understand the real magnitude of what is really taking place in the Middle East. This is a pure business and pure game which is being used to be able to do what? To play the mind of the lower vibrational entities. So if you are out there, somebody who is not yet inclined in the knowledge of truth, you are there trying to defend something or trying to say, oh, why is this brother in Israel? Think twice and be able to understand that there are some certain people who started this game itself. There are some certain people. Oh, maybe I'm revealing too much secret to some people here even. But you are out there. You need to be able to understand what I'm saying to you, my dear brothers and sisters. You are yet to see things about this particular dimension, because we are talking about something that is going to be, happening, ushering in higher. So like I said, Jerusalem, you see that particular Jerusalem that you're seeing in the Middle East is going back to the place where it belongs now. It's going back to the west coast of Africa. So it's going to be active now from the West Africa now. You see everything that you used to know about the so-called Middle East is going back to the place where the people have already established themselves already there. Because yes, you need to be able to understand that the moment that they fled, they went and they spread into different parts of like what happened in the Northern Kingdom. That the king of Assyria took those people, because of their atrocities and everything. What happened is that the Most High now sent the king of Assyria to be able to do what? To go there and do what? And take all of them under captivity. And what happened? When they were all being taken under captivity, they took them and they brought them into what? Into the land of Persia, which is a place which is around those places which is known today as Iran. But they stayed there for some time. They were like, these people are too much idol worshippers. They can't stay there. They can't hang out with these people over there. So what happened is that they decided to go on a journey to be able to seek a land where no man dwelt. So that is why they had to be able to leave those particular areas and go into different lands, into different places where no man dwelt, in order to do what? In order to go and start up what they know. So people talk about different places now. Talk about things which is going on in places maybe like Mexico or whatsoever. Now another land where no man dwells. So what happened is that they had to sojourn into a different place. But the place where they used to be before they were being chased out, which is the Northern Kingdom, was empty for a while until the king of Assyria brought people and they occupied that particular place. And those people that occupied there stayed there for a long time. So they thought that that land which they are in is theirs. So these are the generation of the people you people are seeing today, which call themselves the Palestinians. But both these ones and these ones, both of them are fulfilling prophecies. And this is one thing that you need to be able to understand, that everything that is happening both on the left and the right side, that something is going on which you need to be able to really understand and see. That there is something that is happening and there is a reason why you need to be able, so because this is why, when I see people who say, oh, that the British people are colonial, the colonial masters, or whatsoever, that they came into they brought in religion. These people know nothing of what they are saying. Before the British people came into the west coast of Africa, the Igbos already brought the religion of Judaism in the west coast of Africa. The Igbos were the bringers. Were the people who introduced the religion of Judaism in the whole of west coast of Africa. Just the same way that you say that the Fulanis were the people who are responsible of bringing Islam in the west coast of Africa. That is how the Igbos are responsible in bringing what you people know today as Judaism in the whole of the west coast of Africa. They were the ones that first used religion as a means of colonialism, to be able to do what? To conquer the whole area in that particular place. Before they are coming over there was no certain of using a religion. Everybody, all of the people who were there were having their own traditional ways. Until these people came there, introducing a certain way, which these people were now, a lot of people who were there bought that particular idea. And what do you really understand what is really going on? Some of you don't understand, have no idea of what is really going on here. That is why I say that you need to be able to study to show thyself approved, because a workman needed not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. Because when you go dig deeper and understand and see the mystery of what is going on, your eyes is going to be open. That is the reason why I tell you to look on to what is going on in the west coast of Africa. Because that is where the games are being played. A lot of things which is going on, which is being removed, not just in the Middle East, I'm telling you, even in your White House, they have a hand in it. There is a game that they have been played. These things are happening right in front of a lot of people's eyes, but you don't see why, because you're too blind to really understand the magnitude of what is really taking place. I just make this particular message, my dear brothers and sisters, because I'm going to be answering some certain questions, which some brothers have written me, brother or sister, have written me in regards to these particular things, because he asks series of questions, in regards to, the Igbo tribe, generally, and how this is just, I just give this particular brief, just one thing. Simple, and just it's a little knowledge about what you need to be able to understand in regards to what is going on in the Middle East, to be able to connect and show you the higher volume of it in what's happening in the west coast of Africa. You need to be able to understand what is really taking place, my dear brothers and sisters out there. And I say to you all, remain strong as you study to show thyself approved, and the workman needed not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. As you study that, say, may the Most High be the one to inspire you and give you a higher knowledge of wisdom to be able to really see and understand the mystery of what is going on. Japhat talk about the Ashkenazim. They are staying in the tent of Shem, and that land of Shem was the land that was being promised to Abraham. So the ancestors of Abraham, the children of Abraham, are the ones that are using the Ashkenazim to be able to do what? To control that particular land that you're seeing. And that is that particular place that you're seeing. So the Ashkenazim are living right now in the tent of Shem, being controlled by the sons of Abraham, which is Jacob himself. So you need to be able to understand the mysteries of what is really taking place. Some of them might be, oh my goodness, how did he get this knowledge? Like I said to you, the spirit of Yahushua is in me to be able to give you the mystery of the things which is already contained in the scripture. So if you are in line with the Ruach of Yahushua, everything will start making sense to you. Nothing is not by power, it's not by might, but by the spirit of Yahushua, said, by the spirit of Yahuwah, said Yahushua, So this is one thing that you need to be able to understand and be able to grow in the newness of life. I say to you all, my dear brothers and sisters out there, shalom, shalom, shalom.